Hey there, it's Anna. Hey, today I wanted to talk about the first phase of entrepreneurship. So there are actually 5 phases of entrepreneurship, but today we're just going to talk about the very first one. And I'm going to go over a little bit of my experience in that first phase, because I know a lot of you guys are just in that very first phase of entrepreneurship. And in our program, Corporate Rescue Plan, we call this first phase of entrepreneurship the designer phase. And what happens in this designer phase is that you are feeling really stuck in your day job. I've totally been there. When I was stuck in my day job, I just wanted to be the boss, but I did not know what business I should start. I did not know what that ideal business was for me. So that's one of the things that you do in that first phase of entrepreneurship. The other thing in that first phase of entrepreneurship, you are just strapped for time. And you're really figuring out how you're gonna make time to actually make your business goals happen, right? So I remember I had a full-time job. I was working at a consulting company for 8 years. I worked for this consulting company. So I had a full-time job. I was also getting my MBA degree at night and was trying to juggle all that along with growing a business on the side. So I totally get it. I had to learn a lot about how to stay productive and how to prioritize all of my tasks and all of my personal goals too. And one of the biggest things about being in this phase is you realize that you want to start putting your goals and priorities first rather than working on your company's goals and priorities first. And so that's one of the things I realized in that very first stage of entrepreneurship. I started waking up early and working on my goals first before I ran off to work at 7 a.m. I had already written a blog post, or I had already done a video, or I had already scheduled my social media for the day. So I felt like I had done something for me and I had done something to move my goals and dreams forward first. So that's all part of this first phase of entrepreneurship, really figuring out your priorities. And also in this first phase of entrepreneurship, I remember I was like terrified to quit because I had benefits and I had a 401k and I had a secure paycheck coming in, every 2 weeks, and that was wonderful. So even though I knew that I was ready to make the leap and do something more with my life, I knew I had more potential. I knew I could do more. I knew I could do so much if I make so much impact in the world if I just went towards my goals and dreams. So I knew that I had to do that, but there was so much fear. There was so many things to be scared of when I was going to be letting go of those benefits and that steady paycheck. And so that's something you go through in this first phase of entrepreneurship as well. So you're totally normal if you have thought or been in anything that I just talked about. That's totally normal. I've been there too. And there's 3 things that you really want to uncover in this first phase of entrepreneurship. And the first one, we just kind of briefly talked about it. It's really putting together your productivity plan. So it's really figuring out how to prioritize what's really truly important in your life. So obviously that's going to involve figuring out your values, figuring out what's really important to you, figuring out your purpose, and making sure that fits your future company purpose as well. So all that stuff maps into figuring out your productivity plan and really making the time to make this goal happen. Just yesterday, someone wrote on my Instagram account, I had talked about how to turn your passion into a paycheck, and they wrote, I would love to start a blog about children's literacy, but I just don't think I would ever be able to find the time, and making time excuses and saying that time was the reason that they weren't going for something that they would absolutely love to do. And that kind of stuff that it just breaks my heart, because there's little simple strategies that you can do with your time. Every 15 minutes really adds up and could be the difference between your dream business and being stuck in that day job for years longer. So I am 6 years in. I started my blog 6 years ago, March 2010. I think it was March 24th, 2010, and have been taking those baby steps in that imperfect action ever since, and really figuring out how to manage my time, how to make the time to make my goals and dreams happen. I'm still doing it. I mean, now it's even more complicated with, a team and with kids and all that stuff. So I totally get it, but that's the first thing that we do in the designer phase in our corporate rescue plan. The second step in this designer phase is really getting your mind ready to become an entrepreneur. So when you step from employee to entrepreneur, there's a lot of mindset things that we have to move past. There's a lot of blocks. There's a lot of, I just spoke to a client last week, and she had just quit her job to do her business full time. And in the week that she had been now a full-time entrepreneur, she had just this huge mindset block and had to go past so much because she was so used to sitting at a desk from this hour, from 8 to 6, and just sitting there doing busy work and doing administrative stuff just because she had that time clock, right? You have to punch in and you have to punch out. And when you're an entrepreneur, you don't have to work those hours. You have more flexibility, but you're also in charge of your time. And so there's just so much mindset that goes into becoming an employee or becoming an entrepreneur after you've been an employee so long. So many fears. There's fear of success. There's so many things that you have to go through. So that's the second thing, is really getting your mind ready for success and to become an entrepreneur, because then you'll have more success in the long run. So, and obviously that's something we're still going through as well. I know my husband just joined us at Classy Career Girl now 2 years ago. 2 years ago too. And so there's still a lot of things that are even working in our heads too, and battling and up-leveling and things that we are still going through with our mindset too. So becoming an entrepreneur is it's a personal growth journey. It's exciting, but it's challenging too, and you really have to push through those mindset blocks. Okay, so number 1, time management. Number 2, mindset. Number 3 is direction in this designer beginning phase of entrepreneurship. So you may have a lot of different ideas, and so this is the phase where it's totally fine not to just jump in to start a website or start blogging or jump in and start opening an Instagram account. But right now we really want to focus on figuring out how to narrow down those business ideas and start that right business for you. So you guys all know I have a whole background as a career coach, so I love figuring out people's purposes and callings and taking that and matching that into a business that really makes an impact and makes a difference in the world. So that's where our corporate rescue plan is so different, is that's truly what we're all about, is figuring out what that ideal business is for you to make the most impact in the world, not to necessarily make the most money or to make, do a 6-figure launch in 5 weeks or anything like that. We're really about figuring out what that ideal business is for you so that you can be happy and fulfilled and really make that impact that you know that you can make in the world. So to cover what we just talked about, you're in the designer phase. If you're feeling stuck in your day job, you're just really ready to figure out your time management, to prioritize, to learn some strategies to really make time, and you're sick of working on your boss's goals instead of your own, and you're ready to start working on your own goals now. And so the 3 steps that you're going to go through in this beginning design phase, you're going to figure out your productivity plan. You're going to conquer those fears and really get your mindset ready for success. And you're going to figure out your direction and really narrow down your ideal business. It looks like we just had Ella join. Hi, Ella. Thanks for joining us. And of course, John is here as well. So that is the first phase of entrepreneurship, the designer phase. There are 4 other phases, and we are going to be covering all of these entire 5 phases of entrepreneurship, the process of going from employee to entrepreneur, on our webinar on Sunday and Monday. And I would love for you to attend and join me. I will be going through my entire journey of going from employee to entrepreneur, giving you way more behind the scenes, and we would love for you to join us. So you can find out more at www.classycareergirl.com/successpath, and hopefully we will see you there. John's actually going to be our host for the evening, so I'm really excited about that. For the first time ever, we're doing a webinar together. He's really excited. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited for you guys to get to know him a little bit more too. And hopefully we will see you there. Once again, the website to sign up and register is www.classycareergirl.com/successpath. And we're also going to be giving out during the webinar my daily to-do list template. We've had a lot of requests for that, so I'm giving that to you guys on our webinar, as well as a guide that will help you figure out how to know what business you should start. So we want to get you started in the right direction and really move past this design phase and into the other phases as quickly as possible. So we will see you guys on Sunday for our live webinars at 5 p.m. Pacific. In case you're wondering. So we'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.